play. Have you ever had vibrant colors in your dreams or other colors in your dreams? And what do they mean? I believe if you have a vibrant colors in your dreams, it often means that you've got a dream that's come from God, and that's really special, that God is specifically communicating to you in that dream. I believe that in heaven there is that eternal heavenly light, his glory, and that wonderful, and it's amazing. So if you have a lens in your hand and you place light through it, it will, as the light goes through it, it will produce multiple colors, brilliant colors, just like the rainbow. So the rainbow that came for Noah was like a really supernatural word from God that the world would never flood again, the whole earth would never flood again. And it was full of those supernatural colors. So if we look at things specifically in the Bible, what do colors mean? And often it's not specific as such, but actually we know that those colors do have meanings, and often we can depict those in our dreams. So if you have red, it often talks about the redemption, where Jesus died, his sacrificial blood that was given up for us, that it has wisdom and revelation that comes from God, will often be depicted in red in your dreams. Blue is often about revelation, the prophetic, and communion with God. So just to give an example, I have often had like blue waters that have been calm and beautiful, and for me it's looked at that communion, that place that I'm in intimacy with God. What about green? Green often depicts like your conscience, or it could be you're growing in God. Often I will see like trees and their leaves, and it will talk to me about like I'm growing in God, growing in leadership. Often green can be prosperity as well, so that's good. What about brown? Brown can often represent in compassion, and I'm not quite sure where that comes from, but it's often represented in compassion. What about gold and amber? And this is much more obvious because of God's glory and his refining fire bringing purity. So you see a fire and it is breaking something down. In the Bible, it often depicts the changes in people's lives, that refinement with his fire. What about purple? They put Jesus in a robe, and that robe was purple, and it depicted royalty. And obviously they wanted to humiliate Jesus at that point, but he said he was the King of Kings. It's about his royalty. What about orange? Orange can mean about perseverance in God. Silver, there's lots in the Bible about silver, and it can mean redemption and grace. What about yellow? Yellow often is depicted by hope. It's often like the sun rising and the new day, that hope that arises in us. It can also mean gifts as well. What about pink? I believe pink is about having that childlike faith, that love for God. What about grey? So as we get older, we often grow white and grey hairs in our heads, and as they grow, it's about the sign of maturity, place that you're changing and you're growing up in greatness and in great ways in God, and we're in a place of honor. What about white? you know, in Revelation it talks about us wearing white robes, and that's about God's righteousness, his holiness. And black, I always thought black was a negative thing, but apparently it can mean mystery. Anyway, that's it for today. I just wanted to say that sometimes all these colors are obviously not from God, and if they're muted or they're dark, it can mean that there is a very negative connotation from them. I don't have time to cover it today, but I can talk about that at some other point. So goodbye for now. Please like and subscribe. Please make any comments about colors. I'd love to hear your perspective on it. So thank you for listening today. Goodbye.